Hey, Clemson, on tonight's show, we got we got an amazing guy who's part of student government for Clemson University. So let's get on with the show. Welcome to week 2 of the Midnight Tiger. I am your host, John Nola. Guys, this past week was Tigerama, and the main event was ex-ambassadors. You know, many people I've talked to did not know the band except for a couple of their songs. Guess people could say the same thing about Vanilla Ice. Some personal news, I'll be turning 21 on Sunday. Can't wait to be like every young college kid 21 and over, going to bars at 7 in the morning on game days. Yeehaw. This week, Dancing with the Stars had their Disney night. Hey, I love the show, but this season I'm only here for Steven and Riley. Wonder if he'll be able to handle Bruno's enthusiasm. I wonder. Also in the news, McDonald's recently had an E. coli outbreak. This is just as bad as the fake meat. It looks irregular. Hey, at least it's not a diabetic issue. Here's something strange. Cardi B was recently hospitalized, forcing her to cancel a performance at the Atlanta Music Festival. Thankfully, she'll be okay. I hope I got that good. Finally, Halloween is next week. The one day people dress up to get strangers candy. For me, Halloween has always been fun, but weird since every time I would go trick-or-treat, I would go to rich people's houses, but no full-size candy bars. Even my hometown's mayor would persuade kids to vote for him through pencils, but no chocolate. It sucked as much as a lollipop. We got a great show for you tonight. Joining me will be a member of Clemson student government. Hopefully this guy has no controversies on like regular politics. Now let's bring on our guest. Our guest is part of Clemson student government. He works with a diverse group of people. Ladies and gentlemen, would you help me welcome Mr. Ethan Hickman?
John, thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here. So, many people who come to Clemson think, like, student government sounds pretty scary. Would you care to explain what it's like to work for them?
Well, I'm here to say it's actually not that scary, and I actually really love the people I work with, because they're all great people, and they all really just want to help improve Clemson. Whether that's through like Tigerama, or finding a new student body president, or just things like that, and they all just really care about what they do.
I see. Now, speaking of events, what are the busiest times for student government to put on?
I would say probably around Tigerama. That's definitely a big one. And then I would also say probably around election season in the spring.
Ah, I see. Now, during election season, how do students vote for a new person out in the branch?
We are coming up with a new voting system this year. So, and I don't want to dive too deep into that yet. I don't want to give away too many little secrets.
Yes.
But y'all will hear probably by the end of the semester, beginning of next semester, as to how you'll do that.
Now, just a full disclaimer, I can't say that much because of the privacy of the government. So, sorry, folks. But back to student government. So, what made you want to get involved?
It's just I am part of some communities that I didn't feel were super well represented in student government. So I was like, you know what, I've always had an interest, not a huge interest, but sort of like a side hobby in politics. And I was like, I think I could really help my friends.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Now, what's the percentage of majors who join student government? Are most of them political science majors?
We do have a ton of poli-sci, but I mean, to be honest, we have everything. We have quite literally probably every major.
I see. Now, what are some of the fun things you guys like to do during the school year?
I would say like our biggest things like are like we feel like really rewarded like when people actually like come up to us like if they've read our weekly email or if they went to Tigerama and had a good time.
You're the one who
Or-
gives the feedback.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. We really enjoy hearing feedback from people.
Now, how can people? Now, I'm sure there's someone out there who wants to come to Clemson in the future and find a way to get on the student government board. How can they do that?
They can go to what's the name of the big club page? You can definitely go to Tiger Prow.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a website that has like all the clubs on it. The name of it is completely escaping my mind right now, but we're on like all the normal club platforms, I guess.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how flexible could it be? Because I'm sure it's a pretty big responsibility
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for everyone who gets involved.
Yeah, it's very flexible because like there's not just student government, but there's also various like subcommittees. So like we have a ton of people in student government. So like there's a variety of different ways to be in student government. I guess it just depends on what suits you best.
Yes. Now, I know, and last week we had Mr. Beeson on the program, and you're also in the Spectrum program.
That I am.
Now, have you figured out any ways to get Spectrum involved with the student government, like events and all that?
No, because the Spectrum program is
Like,
hesitate-
representing them?
yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just emboldening those students, and encouraging them to apply and run for positions. And because it's an equal opportunity thing. Like even if you're not the most popular person, you're going to have the same exact opportunity to have a position as the most popular kid in the school,
And
which I really like.
And what does the student government look for in a student?
I would say the big things that we look for are people who are like dedicated and hardworking and who really want to just help the community.
Ah.
Those are the big ones, I'd say.
Yes, and so I'm sure you guys do a lot of charity events.
We
like,
do. Mhm.
like what's the biggest charity event? Like Habitat for Humanity or something?
Yeah.
Like from what you've been through, being at Clemson.
So far, I would say one of our biggest ones is probably Tigerama,
Ah,
because if I'm remembering correctly, a percentage of our proceeds go to some foundation. I forget what it is, but it's philanthropic.
yeah. Now, how were you involved with helping with Tigerama this year? But as a part of student government?
Well, on my committee, I'm actually not in charge of like activities.
Yeah.
So I really was not involved in planning it at all.
Ah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I'm sure people from Clemson would like. Is there like a whole debate system when it comes to student government?
I wouldn't say there's a system, but there can definitely be some feisty situations, I guess you could say.
Ah.
I mean, we don't get like violent or anything.
Oh
but,
no,
like,
no,
we
no!
just-
I mean,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like polite politics.
Yeah. We agree to disagree.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, does Clemson student government also have involvement with like local politicians, like Governor Haley or anything?
No, we're completely independent.
Ah, okay.
I mean, like we might have guest speakers come from time to time, but like we don't work alongside anyone.
Ah,
I mean, we work alongside other Clemson organizations, obviously, but
yeah.
like we don't work with anyone outside of Clemson.
Ah, okay. So I'd like to talk about you now because you're part of the Spectrum program. I've known you since August, basically, but we don't really know that much about each other. So I thought we'd do a little fun game of this or that.
Okay.
So so the point of the game is, like, it's like a would you rather game, but I don't know why I called it this or that, guys. I feel like an idiot. But it's kind of like would you rather, and you would say, and then we would do like one topic at a time. So I'll go first. Puppies or kittens?
Puppies.
Your turn.
Let's see. Football or basketball?
Football.
Okay.
We're not a big basketball family. We don't. The only time we have basketball on in my house is during March Madness, and I get so peed off because it's around the same time as my Lent, so I can't get a good burger from Wendy's with the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my turn. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Ooh, plain guy.
Yeah. Vanilla. Well, if we're talking ice cream, I'm actually going to say birthday cake. Birthday cake, I will die for some birthday cake. But given the choice between chocolate or vanilla, I'm saying vanilla.
Plain vanilla.
Every time.
Okay, your turn.
What about you? Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. But milk chocolate.
I could do milk chocolate. I can't do like dark chocolate.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not my mom.
Yeah, my mom also could eat chocolate for days.
Yeah, my mom, when she was pregnant with me, lived off of cheeseburgers and some sort of chocolate thing. But I remember when she and my great aunt slash godmother went to an IHOP. This is a funny story. Went to an IHOP one time when my mom was pregnant with me. She ordered a bunch of stuff. She ordered her usual like corned beef hash and the Harvard Scranton on pancakes, which she's so upset that they took away. I don't blame them. It's like healthy pancakes. Like who the hell wants that? but she was like ordering all this stuff, and my godmother was like, "Well, what's wrong? What's wrong? You like pregnant or something?" And then that's how she found out that.
Your grandma found out at IHOP?
Yeah, my godmother slash great aunt. Yeah. Well, what about you? I'm sure you have a crazy story about when your mom was pregnant with you.
Not with me, with my brother. Yeah, because my brother was a kicker, so there were times where my mom literally just like couldn't not get out of bed because he would just kick for hours. Like,
I was a kicker too. Yeah. So, besides student government, what are some other hobbies that you like doing?
Well, I'm also in Central Spirit, which is a great organization. Y'all should definitely join.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. I also love sports. Obviously including Clemson sports. Let's see. I like to just if I'm not in class or sleeping or doing work, I am probably out doing something with my friends.
I see. Yeah. Now, what's your favorite sport here at Clemson?
Football, of course.
That's a no-brainer for a lot of people
Yeah.
here.
Although, basketball's starting to give them a run for their money the last couple of years.
They are, especially when PJ Hall was here.
Yeah, we made it to, what was it, the Elite Eight last year?
Yeah, thanks to him.
Thanks to him. And Chef. So Chef.
Yep. Now, how long have you been in Clemson for? Like, what year are you?
I'm a sophomore, so it's my second year here.
I see. Now, last week I mentioned I was a freshman, and that spectrum takes up from freshmen to grad students. Do you still plan on being in a spectrum while you're here?
Yeah, I do. I think it really helps me a lot. As far as like not adjusting, but like coping with things socially, academically, emotionally. So I plan on staying in it, as long as I can.
Yes, and we talked about all this with Mr. Beeson last week. So let's talk about this. So I'm sure everybody has a wacky family that seems almost dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So is there like one moment in your life when something weird happened in your family, like crazy?
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind was when my, at the time, uncle was caught by my cousin cheating with the au pair.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and that forever scarred my cousin.
Can we say that, guys? Can we say au pair? Can we say having an affair? We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Thank God I've never had that in my family. I mean, we're Greek, Greek. My mom's Greek, so you can expect a lot of yelling
Yeah.
and a lot of oppas. So being in Clemson student and student government, I'm sure there's also like a good percentage of a ratio of male to female. Is there like support for women in the environment?
I would say yes. Obviously, I don't know from experience, but I would say yes. I would say that they get most, if not all, of the same supports that the men do.
Yep. And what would you say this year's percentage ratio would be between boys and girls?
If I had to venture a guess, I'd probably say it's probably more like 55-60% women and like 40-45% men.
So what are some big things? I'm sure you can't spoil too much because I don't want to get tracked down and pinned. But is there anything that student government looks forward to besides election year and all that? What are some big traditions besides Tigerama, besides election year? Is there anything big that other students can get involved in?
Homecoming. Homecoming's a big one.
Which passed.
Yeah. First Friday, which also passed. Off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. Because during the spring, we focus pretty much solely on elections. I mean, we'll still do other stuff, but we would devote probably half of our resources to elections alone.
Yes. Now, I think I brought this up before, but I'm just wondering, how does the election work? Is it like an electoral college thing where different...
Yes. It's essentially take, for example, the upcoming presidential election, where you got the popular vote, and then, but what we do different is that, since we have an unlimited number of candidates, we take the top, I think it's top 5 for each position. Then the student government will go and vote on them, narrow it down to 2, and then we will have a regular electoral college process.
Which organization would have the popular vote?
Popular vote. Are you talking in terms of which organization is the most popular?
Well, who gets the most amount based on the electoral college?
I don't know.
Yeah, and I really don't want to talk about this, but we all know election day is coming up, and a lot of people are going to be voting.
Yeah.
So, and we can't say anything too political, but we're down to our 2 candidates who will be president this January. I mean, do you think it might be a dark time in America because of this?
I don't know, because it depends on how you see it,
Yeah.
If you're pro one side, then if the other side wins, you're going to think, yeah, America's going to crap. But same thing if you're on the other side.
Is there something similar with student government? If there's one person, people cannot stand.
No, not really. Not really.
Okay. So another thing I would like to talk about is personal things about what you like to do in your daily life. Now I know one of them is sleeping, so don't get me started on that. I'm the same way. But what's your favorite food to eat? Your favorite place in Clemson to eat?
Oh, I'll say like just of the dining halls, probably Douthit, because A, I feel like it's got better food, and B, I live in Douthit anyway, so it's a lot more convenient.
And if it's like fast food, like what would you choose?
Fast food. Actually, probably Cane's.
Raising Cane's. Now, I'm on. I get turned on and turned off by Raising Cane's. I don't know why, but I feel like it's the sauce. It's too peppery.
The sauce, I actually like the sauce. Sometimes I get double sauce.
Where you're from again?
From Atlanta.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, and there's the only Raising Cane's that's close to us is in Times Square. Apparently, I don't know why we got that.
I mean, it's Times Square. They have everything in Times Square. So.
Not really. They don't have Jack in the Box.
That's true. They have most things in Times Square.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, before we go, there's one more thing that's I'm sure people want to know and that I really want to know. Well, when does the election usually happen for student government?
So let's see. You start, like if you're a candidate, you start by going to interest meetings, which start in 2 weeks. The week of November 4th. And then come December, you will be allowed to name your 15 campaign staff members, but there's only like a certain block of time that you can do that. And then after that, it's allotted where you only have a certain amount of time to do certain things. But it's essentially like a regular campaign that you would see in like a presidential election.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you heard it the first, guys. Student body election starts soon, so if you want to put your hat in the ring, be ready. But we thank you for joining us this week on the Midnight Tiger, and we'll see you next week. Bye.